Hey, welcome to another episode of Flavor and Fiction. For those of you tuning in for the first time, Flavor and Fiction is a segment where I read a book from my 2023 reading challenge, and then I give you a short review, plus I make a recipe from a food that's mentioned in the book or that's related to the book. So you get your flavor and your fiction. This time the category was family drama, and I decided to ask people in my Facebook groups, my author Facebook groups, because I wanted to feature an independent author like I did in the last segment. And so the one submitted that I chose was Deciding for Me by Bethley Hudson. And in case you can't see it too well, I'll put a picture up here. And there was a lot of really good food mentioned in this book, like jambalaya and shrimp etouffee. But I didn't really feel like cooking. If you know what I mean. So I chose the ingredient apple because it's fall and I could choose a million different things. So I decided to make apple cinnamon bread, and it actually just came out the oven. I'm going to give you a little taste test at the end of this video before I take it to work to share with my coworkers. Our protagonist is Anna King, and it opens with her graduating from Navy boot camp. So that's not a spoiler. And she's looking at the other recruits and their families who are there to congratulate them and pick them up, and she has no one there. And so the book is really her reminiscing about her senior year in high school to show us what led her to this moment. So senior year, we're introduced to her boyfriend, Nick, who's like, I don't know, this star athlete, maybe basketball player, I can't remember. And her best friend, Ty. And that's really like her close circle. Her home life is less than desirable. Her mother struggles with addiction, and her father mainly neglects her unless he's barking orders at her. So at least at school, things are going well. She has her boyfriend until he tells her that after school, he wants to join the army and he wants to marry her because he wants her to tag along. And she gets upset thinking like, why would you think that I would just marry you and tag along? What about me? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, what did you want for your future? And crickets. She's nothing to say because she's never really considered it. She knows that people are expecting her to go to college, but she's never really sat down to think, wait, what do I want for my future? She turns down his proposal and he gets upset. They break up and he ends up dating her rival. And so, yeah, a lot of drama surrounding that. And she gets into a fight with her parents because she finally stands up to them and lets them know how she feels about how they've treated her. Her dad gets mad and kicks her out the house. She moves in with her best friend and her mother, and who she's always seen as like family. So she's at least in a safe place right now where she feels like she can breathe. So the two of them, along with an elderly neighbor, they kind of become Anna's guiding light. So in the end, we know that she decides to join the Navy, but before she leaves, she gets a part-time job at this convenience store. And then one day while working there, a crazy incident happens. I'm not gonna say, but it involves someone that she trusts. And, you know, I don't do spoilers, so I'll leave that there. But since the story starts with her graduating boot camp, you kind of know, that at least she makes it there. But also in the beginning, she has a letter from her mother, and she hasn't opened it because she's nervous about what it will say. So you kind of get to see at the end what happens with that. In a lot of ways, Anna is like any other high school senior trying to decide her future. You have a split second to make a decision. I remember applying to colleges and having to decide like where to go in like 5 minutes. I had to make a decision. It was, it's a lot on your shoulders. But it'd be easy just to follow the blueprint that others set for us. You have good grades, you're going to college, and that's it. Your parents and your teachers kind of lay out what their expectations are of you. But you have to realize that this is for your life. This is for the rest of your life. So you have to make your own decisions, even if they're not popular. So that is what I got out of the book. I really enjoyed it. I'm happy with my choice. And thank you to the author for nominating your book. Love it. I like that cover too. And please support independent authors. So if you can, please support this author. The book is available on Amazon. And as usual, I will put a link below to the book and to the recipe. So now that we've gone over the book, let's talk about this recipe. I'm going to show you a clip of me making it sort of, and then we'll come back and I'll do a little taste test for you. In a bowl, you want to mix your sugar, your flour, your baking powder, and your salt. And then in another bowl, you want to mix your milk and your eggs, and then pour in your vegetable oil and give that a good stir. Don't overmix, just enough to combine. Then pour your dry mix into the wet mix. And once you mix that up, add in your apples, your diced apples, and your cinnamon. Then you want to give that a good mix just till combined. And then you want to put it in your loaf pans that are previously greased. Then mix your cinnamon and sugar to sprinkle on top. Put however much you'd like. And then take a knife and kind of just do a little swirl, create any little design you want. Mine is just nice and simple. And it looks like this, and then put it in the oven. Okay, so I cut a piece and it kind of fell apart because it's still hot. But it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to taste good. So let's go. Oh, I see a little bit of the apple. Love that. Here we go. Apple cinnamon bread. You know what? That's really good. I feel like I cooked it a little too long. Just like 2 minutes. Because the middle, you know, the toothpick is supposed to come out clean. It was not coming out clean. So the recipe is meant for 6 mini loaves, but I did 2 like big loaves. So maybe I got some of the cook time wrong, but I don't care, this is good. And it'd be really good with a cup of coffee. So I'm about to go to work and share that with my coworkers. So I'd say that this book and recipe combination was a great success. Again, here's the book. Go get it on Amazon, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me for Flavor and Fiction. Happy reading and happy eating.